Hey, ever wondered why some women only show their darkest side to a certain type of man? You're about to discover how to awaken the bitch version of a woman, the side she hides even from herself. Carl Jung called it the shadow self, and once you understand how it works, you'll start seeing patterns in female behavior that you could never unsee. This isn't about manipulation, it's about male awareness, psychological triggers, and stepping into your masculine frame so deeply that her dark feminine doesn't just show up, it surrenders. This is the kind of knowledge that flips the game, and if you don't have it, you're probably already losing. Let's get into it. Every woman has that side. The real question is, do you know how to bring it to the surface without losing yourself in the process? The hidden female shadow. Awakening her dark feminine through your frame. Most men don't realize this, but every woman, yes, every single one, carries a part of herself that she rarely, if ever, shows to the world. It's a raw, instinctual force that exists beneath her surface. It's not evil, it's primal. And unless you're the kind of man who knows how to handle that dark feminine, you'll never see it come alive. That hidden version, it's not for the weak. It responds only to masculine energy, to dominance, to the man who's done his shadow work. You might think you're in control when you're being nice, saying all the right things. But if she's not showing resistance, unpredictability, or testing your limits, chances are you haven't even scratched the surface of who she really is. Her unconscious desire is triggered not by comfort, but by contrast. The deeper part of her is drawn to boldness, to a man who won't fold under pressure. And that's when something wild awakens, the side most guys never get to meet. Carl Jung had a name for this, the shadow self. In women, it often shows up as passive aggressiveness, sexual manipulation, emotional chaos, but underneath, it's just power trying to find form. That's the version most men call crazy, because they don't know how to channel it. But when you step into your masculine frame with emotional control, it's like flipping a switch. You're no longer just a guy she dates, you become the mirror that forces her to confront her own hidden nature. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The more she respects you, the more she'll test you. Not out of cruelty, but out of instinct. Her biology doesn't care about your feelings. It cares about your strength. It searches for inner strength, for structure, for containment. She'll unleash the bitch version only when she senses that your assertive energy won't collapse when she pushes. Most men crumble, but the awakened man knows. That's exactly when to hold the line. You want to know why she seems sweet with one guy but turns chaotic and dominant with another? It's not random. It's sexual strategy. She feels safe being chaotic with the man who can contain her storm. That's when she lets go of the performance and shows the side she hides from the world. The truth about women is simple. She needs to feel your power dynamics before she reveals her truth. And if you've never seen that side of her, maybe it's because you've never earned it. Think about it. Has a woman ever gone from submissive to confrontational out of nowhere? That's not mood swings. That's her shadow testing the walls of your foundation. If she senses weakness, she'll dominate the frame. But if you keep steady, grounded in self-ownership, that's when the game changes. She doesn't want to be your mother. She wants to feel your fire. She wants to surrender, but only if what you offer is stronger than what she's fighting inside herself. Here's something you've probably never been told. Female psychology is wired for contradiction. She wants freedom, but craves leadership. She wants control, but needs to be claimed. She'll resist you just to feel your resolve. This is where red pill truth hits hard. What awakens the bitch version of a woman is not charm or validation, it's psychological pressure under leadership. That doesn't mean domination, it means presence. The kind of presence that forces her to drop the mask and reveal her raw instincts. There's a reason why the bad boy trope never dies. It's not because women love toxicity, it's because those men unconsciously express masculine energy without apology. They're not seeking permission to lead. They don't explain their boundaries, and like it or not, that taps directly into a woman's unconscious desire. The ones who complain about her bad behavior usually gave her no reason to respect their authority. The truth? She only tests men who haven't earned their role in the power dynamics. To awaken that wild version of her, you don't need to yell, threaten, or control. You need to command. There's a difference. Command comes from alignment, being deeply rooted in your inner strength, emotionally unshakable. She reads that without words. When she feels it, her resistance shifts. That's when you'll start noticing psychological triggers in her behavior. Longer eye contact, emotional spikes, sudden vulnerability. These are signs that her shadow is starting to emerge. And you'd better be ready for it. Ever had a woman accuse you of things that made no sense, just to see how you'd react? That's her shadow playing, not consciously, but biologically. She's poking at the walls of your frame. And if you respond with weakness, silence, or begging, you confirm her fear. You're not the man. But if you stay centered, unbothered, speaking with assertive energy, something shifts. That's how a man activates her dark feminine without force. He holds space without being pulled into her chaos. There's this guy, Mark, a quiet, soft-spoken dude who kept attracting women that lost interest fast. He thought being respectful and polite was enough. It wasn't. One day, after another breakup, he found content online about Jungian Archetypes and started doing his own shadow work. He realized he was hiding behind niceness to avoid conflict. He started asserting boundaries, speaking with clarity, holding eye contact longer. And something wild happened. The same women who used to ghost him started calling him unpredictable, magnetic, alive. Mark didn't become rude or toxic. He became real. He embraced discomfort. He stopped fearing her emotional reactions. And that shifted everything. That's the effect of real emotional mastery. You don't manage her emotions, you manage your own. And through that, you become the man she feels safe losing control with. She begins to express her hidden nature, revealing desires and thoughts you'd never hear in the polite version of her. That's the power of being a man who sees through masks. Once a woman senses your depth, she'll begin to reveal her chaos, not because she's crazy, but because she finally feels seen. Most men run from this moment. They see her emotional intensity as a threat. But the awakened man leans in. He knows her breakdown is often her doorway to connection. He's not afraid of tears, nor of rage. He stands still in the storm, and that's when she feels the full weight of his dominance, not as force, but as presence. Let's be clear, this isn't about controlling women, it's about understanding them. The truth about women is this: the deeper parts of her psyche crave structure, even if she resists it. Structure is safety, and only a man who has built himself through pain, discipline, self-ownership, and reflection can offer that. She won't say it out loud, but she'll act it out, challenging you, provoking you, seeing if you bend. The man who doesn't, he becomes unforgettable, because he awakens the part of her that she forgot existed. So here's the paradox. The more she trusts you, the more dangerous she becomes. Not because she wants to hurt you, but because her raw instincts are finally waking up. She'll say things she's never said before. Her voice will shift. Her gaze will linger in ways that feel ancient. It's not role play. It's real. It's her shadow self taking form. And the man who can hold that energy without flinching becomes the one she craves, not just physically, but spiritually. That's when hypergamy takes on a whole new meaning. There's a part of her that wants to be ruled, not by force, but by truth. She may not say it out loud, but she longs to be with a man who carries masculine frame like a sword, sharp, controlled, and never drawn without reason. That energy doesn't argue. It doesn't chase. It leads. And when she senses it, her defenses crumble. Not because you broke her, but because you gave her a reason to let go. That's the essence of sexual polarity, and most men never touch it. Let's get brutally honest for a second. If you're the kind of guy who's always trying to be nice enough for her to open up, stop. She doesn't want nice. She wants real. She wants depth. She wants boldness. And if you're feeling something shift inside you as you hear this, good. That's the beginning of your male awareness. And here, a quick pause. If this type of content is opening your eyes to things you never noticed before, hit that like button and subscribe right now, because this rabbit hole runs deep. And what's coming next is even more raw, more real, and more necessary. Let's keep going. The deeper you go into this, the more you'll see it in their eyes. That flicker of fire when a man stands tall in his truth. That sharp inhale when she realizes she can't manipulate him. It's subtle, but electric. That's the moment when the dark feminine surfaces. You'll notice it in her tone, in her posture. It's not about sex, it's about surrender. And only a man grounded in emotional control can receive it without fearing it. That's what separates leaders from followers. Women are emotional creatures, yes, but what most men miss is that those emotions follow power dynamics. Her chaos isn't random, it's reactive. If she senses your energy as weak or unsure, her instincts take over. She'll fill the leadership vacuum. But if you bring masculine energy into the room, calmly and without apology, everything shifts. Her nervous system recalibrates, her voice softens, her fire redirects. Not out of submission, but from alignment. That's the secret. She wants a man she can align with, not overpower. Have you ever had a woman say something like, "I don't know why I act this way around you"? That's not confusion. It's shadow work unfolding in real time. You're unlocking parts of her that were buried deep beneath social conditioning. She might laugh more, cry harder, fight you without knowing why. That's because her hidden nature is being exposed. And if you're strong enough to hold space for that, without collapsing into neediness or control, you become the one she can't replace. That's legacy energy. There's nothing more unattractive to a woman than a man who seeks her permission to be a man. When you wait for her to approve your decisions, soften your voice to avoid tension, or agree with everything she says, you're handing away your self-ownership. That's when her hypergamy activates and she begins scanning the environment for someone who makes her feel something. Anything. Red pill truth, boring men create wild women. Strong men ground them. Choose which one you want to be. It's not that women are broken. It's that most men don't know the code. You can't decode the female psychology using logic alone. You need to feel her, read the unspoken, lead with presence, speak with assertive energy, not volume. Guide her with confidence, not commands. That's how the awakened man interacts with the feminine. And when he does, he doesn't have to chase her attention. She offers it freely. Because it's a rare thing to find a man who understands her at that level. What if I told you that everything you've been taught about relationships was upside down? That seeking harmony too soon often kills attraction? Because here's the twist. Sexual strategy is driven by tension, not peace. Peace comes later. First, she needs contrast. She needs polarity. If you're too agreeable, she becomes the masculine one by default. But when you lead with clarity, direction, and unapologetic presence, her shadow self feels invited to emerge. That's when she becomes emotionally honest, even if it scares her. She might say, "I hate how much I want you." That's not drama. That's real. That's her unconscious desire expressing what her rational mind can't control. And if you panic in that moment and try to tone things down to make her comfortable, you shut the whole thing off. That version of her, the one you've always wanted to meet, only stays when she feels safe in your storm. You've got to be the eye, not the wind. Still, clear, unshaken. That's emotional mastery in motion. Most men never see this side of a woman, not because it isn't there, but because they never do what's required to unlock it. They stay on the surface. They avoid confrontation. They smile too much. But the woman's shadow self is buried under layers of social roles, and it only emerges in the presence of masculine frame. That's why the strongest attraction often feels like conflict. It's her fire pressing against your container. If it bends, she retreats. If it holds, she ignites. We need to stop teaching men that making a woman happy is the goal. That's not leadership. That's appeasement. A real leader isn't trying to make everyone feel good. He's aiming for alignment. And when it comes to women, alignment requires friction. The dark feminine doesn't trust men who collapse under her moods. She trusts men who hold their ground with boldness, listen with depth, and never let her chaos rewrite his values. That's what keeps her pulled in, even when she doesn't understand why. You'll know you're doing it right when she starts saying things like, "You make me feel crazy, but I love it." That's her shadow dancing. She feels alive because your energy isn't predictable. You're not trying to be her therapist. You're embodying the truth about women, that the feminine doesn't want to lead, she wants to trust. And trust doesn't come from words. It comes from behavior, energy, direction. This is what happens when a man stops chasing comfort and starts chasing self-ownership. Let's be honest, you can't fake this. Women are too emotionally intelligent. They'll sense the disconnect immediately. You can memorize lines, study tactics, watch endless videos, but if your masculine energy isn't embodied, it'll fall apart when she tests you. And she will test you, not to hurt you, but to find your edge. She's searching for your depth, for your truth. And if you flinch, she pulls back. But if you remain unmoved, with inner strength guiding every move, she opens, fully. It's not about overpowering her, it's about leading her. Leadership isn't a position, it's a state of being. The man who embodies dominance doesn't need to say much. His presence speaks volumes. His stillness commands attention. His silence holds more weight than another man's shouting. That's the kind of energy that draws the female psychology out of hiding. That's what awakens her sexual polarity, making her crave the man, not because he begs for it, but because he becomes the one thing she can't resist. There's a freedom in this dynamic, but only if it's authentic. She doesn't want to follow a script. She wants to follow a man with a spine, with purpose, who isn't afraid to walk away if the vibe is off. That's the essence of red pill truth. You don't manipulate her into attraction. You become so aligned with yourself that attraction becomes inevitable. Her psychological triggers respond not to effort, but to essence. You either carry it or you don't. Once you master this, you'll stop asking questions like, "What do women want?" and start asking, "Who am I becoming?" Because that's the only question that matters. Women respond to who you are, not what you say. Your words mean nothing without masculine frame behind them. And the deeper you go into your own psyche, your wounds, your fears, your desires, the more you unlock hers. That's the irony of shadow work. When you face yours, she feels safe enough to reveal hers too. Every woman has a hidden code. And no, it's not about tricking her or playing games. It's about stepping into your role as a man who owns his lane fully. The dark feminine doesn't rise for weak men. She rises for awakened men, those who move through the world with calm certainty, not desperation. When you radiate assertive energy, you don't need to ask her to follow. She'll feel it in her gut. And that feeling, it bypasses logic. It's biological. She won't even understand why she's pulled to you. She might fight it, argue with it, question it. But the pull won't stop. That's the effect of deep masculine energy. It's not loud, but it's unforgettable. You'll hear her say things like, "You scare me, but I can't stay away." That's her hidden nature talking, her walls trembling. And if you've done the emotional mastery work to be stable inside, her storm won't shake you. It'll pull her closer. Again and again. This is where most men lose themselves. When her chaos appears, they try to fix it. But her chaos was never the problem. Your lack of structure was. You don't fix the feminine. You contain it. You hold it. And in doing so, you activate her deepest wiring. That sexual strategy at its highest level. Not tactics, but energy. Presence. When she feels that, she softens, melts, and yes, the bitch version of her becomes something else entirely. Sacred, honest, deeply feminine. The final truth? If you've never seen a woman lose herself completely in your presence, it's not because she doesn't have that side. It's because she didn't feel safe enough to show it. Not emotionally safe. Psychologically safe. That only happens when you become the mirror she can't lie to. The man who triggers her shadow calls forward her raw instincts and stays present while she trembles in her truth. That version of her is real, rare. And once you see it, you'll never settle for less again. So now the question is, are you willing to be the kind of man who unlocks that side of her? The side no one else gets to see? Or are you still playing it safe, hoping she'll open up on her own? Because, let's be honest, her wild side doesn't show up by accident. It shows up when you show up, rooted, bold, unshakable. Not to impress her, but to express who you are. Drop in the comments. I lead, she follows. Say it with your chest. Own it. Thank you for staying with me till the end. That already puts you ahead of 90% of men who won't even look this far beneath the surface. If this opened your mind, or challenged your view, hit that like button, share this video with a brother who needs to hear it, and subscribe to stay tapped into this level of realness. Oh, and don't forget to turn on notifications. We're just getting started.